Hello everyone, I know this is not my usual form of content with Dead by Daylight, but I wanted to make a little discussion because they just put out a design preview for the next version of the Skull Merchant. For those who don't know, the Skull Merchant originally came out, I believe, 2023. She did not have a good kit. She basically could expose everybody on the map at all times, keep 3 gens very much alive. I will say I did not have as much use with her because I was taking a break from the game when she dropped, but from the versions of Skull Merchant I've seen, she has become a killer that feels like it's very hard to fix. And especially with her most recent changes, being her deletion, I guess, from the usual queue by taking away not only one of her scan lines, but also the haste and hindered that she can give survivors and give herself, and just the stuff not working half the time. And like, people who try to play her are like, yeah, she's still good if you use the south quadrant of a compass on a map to instantly get all survivors broken. It's like, oh, okay, she needs fixed. Thank God they're finally going to get to fix with her. We knew this was coming for a while. We knew the recent nerf she got was just like to keep the community to stop really complaining about her until they got to this, because they knew that this was a timed thing. They had to put it out at a certain time. They couldn't rush it. So yeah. So this is the design preview. This is my first reaction to it. I have no idea what we're going to get. Alright. Today we want to dig into the topic we know many of you have been yearning to know more about, our vision for the future version of Skull Merchant, re-evaluating the Skull Merchant. We know that Skull Merchant is a decisive killer who, regardless of her performance in a trial, carries a lot of history and strong feelings amongst players. Yes. Many players feel she is not fun to play against, and her kit is exceedingly complex. This scares away potential killers from trying her and makes it difficult for survivors to consider counterplay without dedicated research. I will say, the last time I played her was before her major nerf, and she was exceedingly easy. Like, I only had to put down a drone in an area, and I was on one of the larger forms of Ormond, or no, this was pre-Ormond variants, but I was on Ormond. All I had to do was put down my drones, and it just gave me free value. She was so easy for what her power could do. It was insane. She had a very low skill floor for a very easy power to use. Alright. As we look into reworking Skull Merchant, our aim is to 1. Strike a balance between fun play as and against. 2. Preserve the intel focus of her kit while making it intuitive and to understand for both sides. 3. Move away from passive power with limited player interactions and embrace more active playstyle while ensuring her power isn't compensated in interesting ways. This was a lot of people's things, because you could just leave a drone, and even if you disable it, it will still come back after a while unless she manually disables it. Those last 2 points may be particularly difficult to hear for long-time Skull Merchant mains, but we feel it's important to be clear about our intentions here. While the future we envision for the Skull Merchant is quite different from her previous iterations, we feel the rework brings some exciting new tools of Torment to the table. Aha! Chapter name drop. Okay, we have this. Alright. Drones 2.0. Skull Merchant can deploy a stealth drone. She carries a total of 5. I think that is more than... it's either more or the same amount she has right now. Let's see. Which scans its immediate vicinity and provides intel back to her. After a short activation period, the drones give off a subtle audio and visual indication that the area is being scanned, revealing any survivors on the radar who caught by its 2 rotating detection zones. I see, so they're no longer just lines. They are in fact zones. Importantly, we've slowed their rotation speed slightly and toned down the visual intensity of these zones, removing large scan lines to replace them with something more subtle. Namely, you'll see the direction of each detection zone as they rotate, but the detection zone itself is invisible. This gives survivors an impression of the space they're being actively scanned, but requires them to proceed with cautiously. I see, okay. So I actually like that it is now a cone instead of just 2 lines, because it gives a bit more use to the add-ons that like can reverse it. So now it's like, oh, I just barely made it. Oh no, it's going right back around to me. While we know they had their supporters, the original scanlines were visually loud and often clashed with the rest of the game's look and feel. The intent here is to strike a balance between giving survivors just enough info to assess the threat, a subtle rotating field detection, without the threat overwhelming the space and feeling incongruous to Dead by Daylight's visual. Incongruous to Dead by Daylight's visual identity. What? Put simply stealth drone go burn. Once a stealth drone has been active for a short period, Skull Merchant can choose to take control of the drones from a distance. Okay, so they're adding a snug like thing. Like the Houndmaster, she can take control of her drones. Okay, during this time she becomes undetectable as her controlled drone becomes a primary threat. These stealth drones move slightly faster at base movement speed and consume a new resource, power, unique to each drone, while being controlled. Power is consumed slowly as a controlled drone idles, and slightly more is consumed while moving. Skull Merchant is also able to use a burst of this power to activate drone propulsion. A charged power sends the drone flying forward at high speed relative to how long it was charged. Oh my god. Hitting a survivor with drone propulsion causes them to lose a health state. If you hit a survivor or collide with an object during this action, the drone will be destroyed and return control to the Skull Merchant. God, I'm laughing so much, I'm barely comprehending this. If it hits or collide with an object during the action, the drone will be destroyed. Okay. With these new stealth drones, we want to give players something that feels familiar, using drones to gather intel, but also opens the door for unique skill expression opportunities, repositioning drones and propulsion, and skill shots. Using technology to hunt her prey is core to Skull Merchant's identity, and so it's important that we stay true to that. We have opted to remove many of the background effects, hindered haste, lock-on, claw trap, that were previously tied to these drones. Though rather than doing a little bit of everything, her drones under layers of complexity, we want their use to be clear to killers and survivors alike on the fly. Basically, if they're static, they're likely scanning for survivors. If they're moving, they're a collision hazard. That is amazing. I love this. Like drones themselves, drone hacking returns with a greater degree of risk and reward. Like before, drones can be disabled by survivors by inputting a series of button presses while close. If a drone is disabled, Skull Merchant's aura is revealed. Oh, to that survivor. Okay. It's still good info, especially if you're in a survival with friends. So it's like, hey, Skull Merchant's across the map. Oh, no, she's within like 60 meters. Okay. Providing useful intel. If the hack is failed, they are revealed by the killer instinct and are prevented from attempting another hack for a short period. Okay. Yeah, more risk, more reward. The intention here is to reduce a greater degree of The intention is to introduce a greater degree of tension to hacking while offering a clear way for survivors to interact with Skull Merchant's kit in a meaningful way. The intel reward is greater than before, but the risk of being revealed is more impactful. With intel at the center of this tension on both sides, we hope it makes an interaction easily digestible by players. Red light, green light. What? In addition to her drones, the Skull Merchant has another power that ties to her radar. While the names is currently to be determined, let's refer to as global detection power. Once this power is charged and activated, a global warning plays for all survivors. For a short period afterwards, any survivor who actively sprints is revealed on her radar. Of course, crouching, standing still, and hiding in lockers are all prevent detection. Added to the intel provided by stealth drones around the map, this should help ensure killers are easily able to keep tabs on survivors' movements. Da, 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 da. In line with our rationale above, we want survivors to have a clear understanding of what's happening when they face a Skull Merchant, where the overlapping timers and stat effects of Skull Merchant's previous kit often obscured the expected result of the encounter might be. Structuring this power around a well-known game, Red Light Green Light, provides a clear and readable threat, a clear benefit for the killer, and a clear path for survivors to try and overcome it. Tentative release. Okay, we are currently evaluating a timeline for the Skull Merchant's rework, but do envision it be quite far out, as our primary focus is on driving quality of life updates. That is perfectly fine for where we're at. It does suck for Skull Merchant right now, but it is fine for what we are getting. Once we have a timeline to share, we will be sure to keep you informed via future design preview updates. Whew, that was a lot. How do you feel about this rework? If we want to hear from you, jump to our survey. Yeah. This is amazing. So not only is this basically going to just like dispel all previous versions of Skull Merchant, because this is essentially a completely new power. This is basically the Freddy rework for Skull Merchant, and I'm not talking like recent rework, I'm talking old rework, from the power that did not work even when it was supposed to this is going to be a very good power, but not a super overpowered power. And I say that knowing old, like semi-old Freddy was still very powerful before his nerfs and then eventual rework again. But this honestly does feel like a very good rework for a very disliked killer. It is not only going to, eventually, it will get more players to play it, because just playing as a drone and able to lob yourself into a survivor is just, that's just funny. Like, that is pure comedy gold right there. I don't see how anybody would hate that, at least playing as it, because I know playing as her right now is just very frustrating. But the changes to her powers, where it's no longer lines, it's more zones, they move slower, but you can have like a separate resource which has an entirely different skill set from what she originally had. It's basic, like, I could see a lot of cool things with this, like especially with their add-ons, like low power mode. I could see that changing from, oh, the scan lines don't always turn, to, oh, you have less power on your drones, but they move faster. Which oh god, I'd love to see this. And it does give a, like, small mind game kind of thing of, do I fake I have less power than I actually have in order to get survivors close enough for me to propulse this drone into their face? And it also solves a problem of just keeping one drone at one spot the entire match and never letting it go, because they're just not getting rid of it. Like, you don't get rid of it, but these drones will run out of power and return to the Skull Merchant when they do. So you don't have to worry about that. I honestly do like this. I think this is a very fun rework. It definitely will need some testing and fine-tuning. That is absolutely true. But overall, I think this is a very good idea for the Skull Merchant. I'm very happy to see this in the future. But yeah, I think that is all from me. I hope you all liked this video and my thoughts on this rework for the Skull Merchant. That, in all honesty, this is just a design idea. The design preview are very new things from Behavior, so we don't know if this is exactly what she's going to look like when she does come to test servers to try this out, because they said this is pretty far out. But still, I would love to see this. It seems so fun, and I hope everybody has a good day. Like, subscribe, share this video with anybody you want to watch it with. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a good time. I will see y'all soon, and hopefully we'll get to see this Skull Merchant not too far in the future. See ya, have a good day.